What's up, entrepreneurs? Jane Hamill here, and let's dive into something really important and hopefully quite helpful for you to sort of get a structure in your mind of your business and the different sections so you're not having to work on all the things all the time. So, this is a 5-step framework for business growth for product-based businesses. So, I work with a lot of jewelry designers, fashion, food products, all kinds of things like utilitarian products for people going through chemo. Like I really love a mission-driven brand, by the way. So fun. Food, home goods, whatever. Okay, so there is a download for this episode, which I think will be helpful to have a visual. So stop what you're doing if you can and go grab it. It's fashionbrainacademy.com/framework. Fashionbrainacademy.com/framework. That'll put like a visual to this whole shindig here. Okay. Okay. So a lot of my clients right now are in growth mode. They've kind of reached a certain plateau, or not a plateau, a section in their business where they've proven that they can sell. They're getting fairly consistent sales online. They're starting to go from, I wonder where my next sale is coming from for like, to like, oh, sales are coming in, I'm growing. They're starting to feel like they need some systems, a team. A few of them are just getting their first office, fulfillment house, help with packing and shipping, things like that. And growth is amazing and yay. And I'm so excited for these folks. But it does present its own share of challenges, right? And I also noticed that they're kind of looking for a more evergreen way of running their business, evergreen marketing. So more automations, things that don't involve them for every little darn sale. So they're kind of like not looking to go viral anymore, or, they're not focusing on like only doing big launches or, what happens when I get press. They need something that's steadier so they know and can predict where their next sale is coming from. Okay. Because chasing those big wins or those big like moments of, bigger audience is exhausting, right? I think we all know that the up and down roller coaster of sales, energy, cash flow, it can be rough. So doing your business in a more calm, sustainable, predictable way, that is what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, I used to be a retail store owner, and I've always been a fashion designer and then a retail consultant. I'll tell you that cash flow, spreadsheets, margins, inventory tracking, forecasting, and planning are my jam. And it's fun to work with these clients because that is where they are right now, particularly product planning and wrapping their evergreen products in content to get fresh eyes and get sales. So fun. Anyway, I am team spreadsheet. I don't know. Are you a girl who is team spreadsheet? Let me know. All right. So, in that vein, let's dive into the 5-part framework for growth. The first one, and by the way, again, the download fashionbrainacademy.com/framework. I will be diving into each of these 5 in further episodes. I actually think I'm going to run a webinar on this to kind of give you more examples of what to do. So if you're not on my list, get on the list. You will get on the list if you download this thing, but you can also just go into the main list, fashionbrainacademy.com/hello. All right. So number 1 is messaging. Messaging is the first part of the framework. So all of the execution, all of the great designs, all of the, oh, you're great at scheduling emails and flows and you're good at social is going to be harder if you're not talking to the right people. So messaging involves your ideal customer, your secondary customer, if you have one, which most people do. So buyer persona A, buyer persona B. It also really involves like, why would they care? Just because you have a great product doesn't mean they care about it, right? So we're talking about what is your USP. In this case, we'll just refer to that as unique selling point. How are you going to get their attention? And how are you actually in service for these people? Because it's not just about you and your great product, it's always about the customer. So the first step in the framework is messaging. And I see so many people working on the tactics and the strategies and, make 4 reels a week and do this and, what time to post, but without a message that your ideal customer actually cares about, none of it, I mean, it's so much harder. Okay. So messaging is the first point of the framework. Step two is lead generation. Lead gen is something that I spend most of my time on, probably, which is in the case of 95% of you guys listening who are selling products online, it's building your email list. And what I see most of you spending time on is what should I post on social? And social media, nothing wrong with it. It's all good. Obviously, we use it. It's wonderful. And to me, it is a tool. Among other tools, it is really a tool to get them off of social onto your email list, because your email list is most likely to buy. They are the most engaged, audience that you will have. So lead generation is number two. And basically, just to keep this quick, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but basically building your email list, building that KLT factor, know, like, and trust, because people like to buy from other people, not big brands. If you are a big brand, that's great. You just want to have like a more small brand vibe, so they really, feel connected to you. And OPC, which I refer to as other people's customers, basically who's has an audience that you can borrow. So that could be a collab, that could be guest podcasting, blogging, whatever, lots of different things. But it's not who you know, it's who knows you, right? And the easiest way to get in front of other people is to have somebody say, "Hey, do you know Jane from Fashion Brain? You should check it out. You should go download her thing," right? So number one in the framework is messaging. Number two is lead gen. Very important. And most of us go straight to sales. Okay, but lead gen is a step huge. Number three is your sales system. How is it that people actually buy? How does the whole thing work, right? So we're looking for a system for selling that is simple and repeatable, okay? And many, many parts can be automated in here. Now, when you're first starting out and you're just trying to get to your first like 75K in sales or whatever, automating things is maybe not a great use of your time. But once you're like, okay, I have a proven product that people want to buy, I have repeat customers, everything fits, the quality is good, it's time to grow, then that's when we really want to think about how you want to get sales, and over and over and over. And a sales system that doesn't suck you dry. Suck you dry. Okay, for those of you who are on the video, I'm just going to show you this sheet that I'm referencing. Those on the podcast, well, either way, you'll probably want to download it. But go ahead and go back to the site, fashionbrainacademy.com/framework, and you can get this baby. All right, so yeah, so sales system, okay. Simple, repeatable, can be automated. Lots of it can be automated, and it doesn't suck. Like if you can get sales by going live on, social 6 times a week, that's one thing, but that is not repeatable. That is not a sustainable sales system. That is something you do when you really, really need sales today, but that is not something that is a growth mode possibility. All right, next up is product planning. And product planning, oh, I love this topic. I think it's because I'm a fashion designer originally, owned a retail store for so long, was a retail consultant, planning products I used to sell to Saks and Bloomingdale's with my clothing line. What will you sell? What do you plan to sell? And when? And to whom? Okay, these are the biggest questions that we can answer. And what's the messaging to attract these people? So what are you going to sell when? And when are you dropping products if they're new products? How are you wrapping your evergreen products? And evergreen products is something that you sell over and over. So, if I sell, this is one of my best-selling rings, it's always in stock. It's one of my core 4 products. I'm always going to have it. How do I wrap this same product that I've been selling for a long time in content to get consistent sales? Okay, instead of just saying, here's that ring again, product planning and releasing, bundling, making offers for products to people that gets their attention and gets them to buy. And when are we doing all this? Like, when do I drop a new product? If something's new, do I put it on special for 48 hours? Is there a value add? Is there a discount? Is there scarcity? Like, what's happening with the offers and with the planning of the products? So, especially for evergreen products or some of like my food clients who have only 3 products, right? That you have to constantly be planning your products, your product drops, and the way you present it and how you make offers. And that does include, obviously, your content, whether that's SEO, blogging, or how you basically, the only way I know how to say this is to wrap it in content, right? So like one dress, 3 ways to wear it, that type of thing. So really important here with your product planning is also margins. Let's not be selling and working on dropping products that have break-even margins or crappy margins. Let's just not even do it. And that's something that when I work with private clients, and if that's something you need, you may want to consider private coaching with me or somebody, because knowing which products to focus on is so important. So important. Oh my gosh. I just am doing a website review with somebody, and she's like, I have way too many SKUs, but I don't know how to decide which ones to cut. And I was like, oh, just let me in those spreadsheets. Let me see the margins. Let me see what's selling. Let me see what could be selling. We'll figure it out. All right. So average order value, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Next up, number 4 is testing. So messaging, lead gen, sales system that is repeatable, that doesn't involve you and suck your soul, product planning, and then testing. Because let's say you do all this stuff, and let's say you run ads, or you create you know you do a product tester strategy for lead gen, for list building, and then you never go back to see what happened or to see how you can improve it or repeat it or whatever. I do, like, it's just going to be hard. So always be testing, 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 testing. So treat your marketing like a big, fun, sexy game, because it is, and it should be a big, fun, sexy game. Now, I understand that this is business and you have real money behind this, okay? But we are also here with the testing phases to manage your risk, track the results, tweak what you're doing, and then optimize what's going well. And so many people, they run something like I see this all the time. And by the way, if you are not building your list, the list building with product testers is a banging workshop. You'll find it on the site, Fashion Brain Academy. It's not expensive, and it really works to grow your list. But if you are not going back to see what happened and then improving, then doing it again, you're just reinventing the wheel, and it's going to be so exhausting. And this is what 90% of us do, myself included, because it's like, oh, I did product tester thing. Now I'll do something else. Now I'll do something else. You know what? Let's see what happened. Let's get a grip on the actual data, and let's test it and optimize it and do it again and make it evergreen if we can, if something is working. Okay. And then you get all these 5 things. So like literally, if you're doing the other 4, but you're not testing things and tracking what happens, how are you ever going to grow? Really? I see this so much. People are like, oh, I've been running those ads for 6 months. How's it going? I don't know. Seems fine. Well, let's get in there and look at the data and find out, right? So the goal is your dream business, right? Which is different for everybody, of course, but usually there's 3 things involved, which is money, freedom of some kind, meaning work from home, work remotely, travel 6 months out of the year, whatever, some type of the freedom of owning your own business and being your own boss. And your dream business is happy customers, really, really happy customers who love your product and love what you do and want to buy from you. So you are truly living the dream, where your bills are paid, you know where your next sale is coming from, you sleep well at night, and you go on vacation, you support yourself, you support your team, send your kids to school, like go on, like seriously, it is all possible for you. I truly believe perfect is good, but done is better. So we wrap all of this 5-step framework in a perfect is good, done is better vibe, and you are unstoppable. Now, let's just review messaging, lead gen, sales system, product planning, and testing. That leads to a profitable dream business, in my opinion. Okay. And what I've seen and what I've actually been able to do with my own business. And living the dream is different for everybody, right? So your idea of what's a great business is not necessarily what would be good for me or what would be good for Johnny or Mary or, anybody, right? So encourage you to understand this is a 5-step framework for growth, and every business does really need these sections, but you can't work on all of them at the same time. So if you're really busy, like in product planning mode, but you're also lead generation mode and you're redoing your messaging, it's gonna it's too much. It's too much for any size business, but certainly for most of the businesses I work with who are small businesses, you don't have a gigantic budget. You don't have a gigantic team. You don't have gigantic brain space for all of that stuff. Okay. So that is the framework. And I guess my question for you is, what is missing in your business right now? Messaging, lead gen, sales system, product planning, testing. Which section do you think needs attention first? I would love to hear from you. Brain at Fashion Brain Academy is my email. You can reach out, hit me. Let me know what needs attention from you. If you're like, oh, I've been building my list with a quiz, but they're not converting. All right. Do we need a sales system? Um, I've been doing this and this and this, but I'm always rushing and dropping products at the last minute, and I never know which products are actually best sellers or best margins. So that's a problem for me. Or I do all kinds of marketing things, but I never actually test and look at the data to see which ones I should redo. Whatever. What's going on? Hit me back. All right, guys, I'm rooting for you 100%. Again, you can grab the cheat sheet for this episode at fashionbrainacademy.com/framework. And definitely make sure you're on our list because I have a lot of little cool, fun little mini trainings coming up, including like Steal This, where I'm going to show you examples of the best emails that are coming in and converting for people in the last like month or so. All right. Have a great day. It's lovely, lovely to be with you. If you're listening on the podcast, do me a solid, will you? Leave a review. Leave an honest review. I like it if it's 5 stars, but if it's not, I get it. Just let us know. Leave a review. And if you're on the YouTubes, give me a comment. What was your biggest takeaway from today? I like making these episodes, but what I really, as Gary Vee would say, my oxygen is your comments. My oxygen is back and forth with you, not just me talking. All right? Have a great day. My family might disagree because I do like to talk, but mostly I like to talk to people, not at them. Hit me back. Bye, guys.